Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today I will be showing you how to mine ABCMint using multiple graphics cards on one computer, or more broadly, how to set up PCIe pass-through devices on an ESXi instance to your hosts, effectively allowing them to mine. So, the first thing you need to do is set up ESXi on the machine you wish to mine with. I'm not going to go over that because that's another process by itself. This is assuming that you've already managed to set up your ESXi machine and have everything running properly. So to begin with, first what we'll look for here is that you have your graphics cards showing up as PCI devices under the hardware tab. So as you can see right here, Nvidia Corporation, GeForce GTX 1070, GTX 1080 Ti, and they show up as active for pass-through status. So this means that we'll be able to interact with them with our virtual machines that we create. So to begin with, create a new virtual machine. You can use ESXi 6.7 and designate it as Ubuntu Linux 64-bit. So this will kind of depend on your hardware specs. I personally have a 7th gen Pentium running on my machine right now with 16 gigs of RAM. So I'll allocate this virtual machine with 4 gigs of RAM total, and also make sure to check this box, reserve all guest memory. Then for the hard disk, we can put 60. Again, this depends on what kind of hardware you're working with, but 60 should be fine for all intents and purposes, mining ABCMint. Then we will add our PCI device right here. I will be picking this one right here, GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. And you do not have to add the HDMI audio controller. Just adding this is fine. This will allow you to interact with the device normally. And then in the VM options, we will change the boot options to EFI. This is important, make sure you do that. And then advanced, we're going to set one flag in the advanced tab, edit configuration. So we're going to add this parameter, and this parameter is hypervisor.cpu id.v0, and then this is false. So add that, hit OK. So I think everything is good here, and now we're ready to create this virtual machine. Yep. All right. So now we have tester right here. And what we'll first do is add a data store ISO files to install the Ubuntu 16.04. Remember, it has to be Ubuntu 16.04 if you're mining ABCMint. Select that, connect it. And I'll skip the part where we install Ubuntu and just jump straight into it once that's complete. This process is pretty simple. Alright, so we have our Ubuntu host machine up to date, running fine. So first we'll download the Cuda Toolkit, which we'll need to mine ABCMint. So select the relevant buttons here, 1604, and then we'll do the deb file. This one's probably the easiest to install, so make sure to save this. Don't open it right away. So while that's going on in the background, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping really quick to make this easy to check up on. So brightness and lock go in here, and turn all of this off. You don't want this to suspend or stop displaying anything. And then we'll also change something here. Let's see. In essence, we're going to plug this command in right here so that we always start. And I am running this command right here. This will stop the system from booting into GUI mode. It'll just go straight to it'll just go straight to the console when it starts, which is what we want, because this hack will make that the most advantageous way to start the system. So we'll come back once this is finished downloading. Alright, so we have the Cuda Toolkit downloaded. Now this is the most important step of the tutorial, so make sure to follow this carefully. So what we're in essence going to do is copy the LightDM cache from the etc folder and then move it to the desktop, and we'll call it LDSO cache old. We'll move it like that, and there we go. We have it showing up right there. It's also on the desktop. We need this because, for whatever reason, installing the NVIDIA drivers on a virtual machine inside of Ubuntu 16.04 corrupts the living shit out of this file, and it does not let us start the system. So we're copying this so that we can start the machine with the old LD cache file and then reload the new one with the NVIDIA configuration once LightDM is actually started. So from this point, install after you've completed this step and backed up the old cache file, follow the instructions to install Cuda 10.1 or whatever version you're working with. Alright, so we have NVIDIA 418 installed, we have the Cuda drivers, toolkits, etc. installed, and I also went ahead and got the ABCMint wallet in sync. So now we'll restart the virtual machine and get started mining. Alright, so we booted into our machine. Now we're going to do Control F1 to get to TTY1. And so here we are. Here we go. So from here, we're going to copy the new LD cache to the desktop once again. So sudo cp sorry about that. Cache to so this new cache contains the configuration for the PCI device to actually interact with NVIDIA 418. There we go. And in essence, what we're going to do is we're going to now reload the old cache back in. Otherwise, if you try to start the desktop, you will get stuck in a login loop or you'll get some weird errors. I mean, you can try it yourself. It just does not work, unfortunately. So yeah, that's the commands that you're going to want to run right now. Boom. And now if we do sudo systemctl start dm, we should get the desktop here. Fingers crossed. There we go. So our old cache configuration worked. Sweet. So we'll start up ABCMint. Now what you'll notice is that if you try to do a command like NVIDIA SMI, you'll get an error. And you might think to yourself, oh no, that's a dead end. No, it's not. We'll go back to our TTY session and just turn it to the new cache, and then boom. Now if we go back to the desktop, Control F7, and we run the same command, awesome. We see the device, we see the fan speed, etc., everything that's going on. So now we'll set this to NVIDIA SMI L10, and we'll get a refresh of 10 seconds. All right, now we have ABCMint open. And if we go into the debug window, by the way, the shortcut for getting into the debug window is Alt-H. And we type in set generate true. Close this. Wait a second for this to refresh, and then boom, you can see that we are mining using the GPU on here. So in essence, the not so simple process is to rinse and repeat this over and over and over again until you have as many ABC/Ubuntu instances as you do graphics cards on your machine. This can eat up a lot of RAM, this can eat up a lot of CPU. It's not efficient, but it does work, and you will be able to mine using multiple cards on one system, technically. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope this helps out someone avoid the frustration I had while trying to configure this.